broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Damn, good song selection.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
So creepy.
Super creepy. Hey guys, what's up? I'm your host Jade Howard with AfterBuzz TV, and we are recapping Stalker on CBS, and my awesome two co-hosts.
I'm Cameron Lewis, everybody. Sorry.
Awkward silence alert.
Hi, stalkers. It's Teresa Law.
We're doing episode 2 tonight.
Dose. Oh my gosh. After the first one, I'm surprised I'm actually able to watch the second one because the first one creeped me out so much.
Yeah, it's a pretty creepy show so far.
Yeah. What was your first impression of this episode?
I don't know. There was a lot more crazy in this episode, I thought. I mean, we saw Perry in the first episode, who showed up again tonight.
Perry.
And he's like sketchy, but like ugh.
Yeah,
creepy,
really
crazy
good,
tonight.
I like the way you described him. Sketchy and
sketchy and
Manipulative.
very.
What do you think, Teresa?
Again, I liked how it showcased cases that we don't typically see in the news. In this instance, we had we were led to believe early on that it was Hannah that was being stalked, the 16-year-old girl, by a former child predator on her street. But it turns out that it was a neighbor, a mom that had lost her child, or actually was responsible for.
Don't give everything away just yet.
We won't get into that, but
you guys are gonna stop watching.
It's just so good. I just want to dig in.
You just want to dig in. Well, we can dig in. Let's go to first plot. Hannah. Hannah is a teenage girl, and the opening scene shows where there's an intruder in the house, and it's her and her little brother Thomas. He's 7 years old.
7, yeah.
Young little boy. Adorable.
Adorbs.
Yeah.
Our heart melted.
Nugget.
We're like,
perfect child. So adorable.
So adorable. And so they're investigating, thinking that the intruder is actually they're thinking that the stalker is for Hannah.
Yeah.
And so they are investigating, like you said, Teresa, since you want to tell everybody what happened.
Yeah, so they investigated and they interviewed some neighbors, and then they went into a database and found out that there was a former child predator that lived on the street. And I couldn't help but think about the news that's out there now with Stephen Collins, who I'm sure you guys know or are aware that he was an actor on Seventh Heaven and now is accused for child molestation.
Yeah.
For several girls from the ages of 12 to 15.
Ew.
Mr. Barnes was the neighbor, right?
Mr. Barnes was the one they suspected initially because they saw a footprint by that treehouse, size 10, and so
it was like a cookie cutter. It was the perfect suspect. Yeah. But then you're thinking, okay, well, this is 10 minutes in.
Right. Yeah.
It's too easy.
Well, I loved whenever they walked up to the house though and knocked on the door, and he opened up and. He asked for a warrant, and Beth was like, no.
Yeah,
and
does your parole officer, you want us to call your parole officer? He was like, come on in.
I don't know why, but I really, really liked Maggie Q in this episode.
Okay, why?
She was super assertive.
She just, it was even more assertive this episode, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, she kicks ass.
Looking good, too.
I was going to say, I feel like it also has
too.
a lot to do with the fact that someone has a little crush on her. But
maybe, I don't know.
It's none of my business.
Time will tell. Whoa. Okay. But yeah, she pulled out the stops on that one. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Dylan was looking good, too, while on that subject.
Dylan is forever looking good.
Dylan's always looking good.
Dylan, you can come visit
my
us
twin Dylan.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. He is your twin, but you didn't do your hair like he did last week.
No, we were looking for that today, but
no, nobody's gonna watch the video now. Everyone's
sorry,
gonna say,
everybody.
You know what? He didn't come through. You have to follow through.
I apologize to all of our fans. I really apologize.
I forget.
So what happened after they did? Thank you, by the way. Okay. Also, Jack, when they went in the house, Jack is like getting the gun out. He's ready.
Oh,
he's ready to pull the gun.
And that you're talking about when they went to the suspect one's house.
Yeah, at Mr. Barnes' house, and then they walk in, and what do they see?
No, don't see anything. He sees a laptop.
That's right.
He sees his laptop, and he's like, I don't know why, but I just want to push this button, because why do all predators keep all their stuff on the laptop?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you have to, but
predatory thing.
Yeah, it's like easy go. And so he pushes the button. And then here comes this like mosaic slide
PowerPoint presentation.
PowerPoint presentation. It was like a but it had music.
Yeah.
It was California Girls. It was like,
oh, right.
I tweeted earlier. I said I'm never gonna listen to that song the same again. And they're all pictures of Hannah and her friends just out and about, and her just like living life. So they're thinking, okay, we found the guy. And so they take him to the police station to question him, and he didn't break any law. He stayed away.
So surprising.
Right. He kept his distance from the girls. Like, he was supposed to stay like 1,000 yards or 100 yards away. He did that.
That's what I don't get.
No physical contact.
Right.
He can take pictures, and they said that it wasn't specified in his probation paperwork.
Right.
So,
Which is like, how is that not just automatically included?
Hello, state of California. I'm going to need for you to get it together.
Just saying.
And he says that he's not quite reformed, but he has coping skills, and he sees, but he doesn't touch. So therefore, he's not guilty of anything.
And you're just thinking, okay, this guy is waiting to be creepy again, because he went to, it wasn't like he was 17, he was dating a 16-year-old and he was 18 and got charged with statutory rape and had to be a sexual predator, like on the listings and stuff. But this guy raped a young girl, like after like she was like selling lemonade at like a lemonade stand or something. So like he's a child predator. Yeah. So it was just one of those things where they couldn't do anything about it, but you think about how there are these people that are really walking around and are free, and that they can strike again at any time, because cope all you want.
And they have the PowerPoint on their laptop. That was
and
legitimately.
There's a projector.
Yeah.
We saw another room, and it was a projector, and we saw the pictures up there.
Yeah, that slideshow was the creepiest thing
even
ever.
more creepy.
It's not okay.
No, and so they end up having to rule him out because his shoe doesn't match the print. Which
the boot did not fit.
The boot didn't. So they must have quit.
Yeah, they
and
quit.
Then Beth
too soon.
Had her suspicions about Hannah.
Right, because Hannah was attractive, smart.
Yeah, we see
kid.
in the house. We see back at Hannah's house. We see the Letterman jacket with a little bit of water and a squirt gun.
Right.
And the squirt gun is not Thomas's.
No, the mom says that she doesn't allow any type of bullets in the house.
Wait, just so
and then we see Hannah's look after they pick up the Letterman jacket.
And the reason why we're talking about this Letterman jacket and this gun is because Thomas goes missing. They realize that the target is not Hannah.
Right.
It's Thomas. So
And how do they know that? That was because of the tree house that they were investigating. Because from that vantage point, it looked into Thomas's room, because Beth's room was actually on the other side. And so once they figured that out, they figured that he was a target, not Hannah.
Did you guys, did you think that was going to be the case, or were you pretty sure that it was Hannah?
You know, I did. I thought it was Hannah. They got me there, and I think that's why people are watching this show, and it's like the new hit thriller, is because there's these great twists and turns, and it's not predictable. It's where you least expect it. Yeah, and that to me is like really creative plotting for a good storyline, because, you know, like I said before, like you can predict everything and you think you know everything, and then if you do, it's not fun.
Right. Yeah. And it shows that anyone can really be a stalker. It's not your typical, rejected lover.
It's so true.
Especially in this case. It was a mom that, had a broken marriage and lost her son, and now is trying to compensate for that loss.
Right. Yeah. So that leads us to them thinking that it was... So Beth interrogates Hannah and is like, okay, girl, woman to woman.
What's going on?
What's going on? Talk to mama. Like,
this is another scene where we see Beth like getting real. Right. And I love that.
Can we call that Beth Gets Real?
Beth Gets Real.
Yes.
Hashtag Beth Gets Real. Tweet that. But seriously, I love it when she does. Like we saw in the first episode, whenever she attacks Perry in a parking lot.
Right.
That was great.
It was awesome.
That was awesome.
And that was when we first were introduced to Beth getting real.
Yeah, Beth getting real.
Beth gets real.
And so she gets real with her, and she says to her, well, honey, you make good grades. You're hot. You wear crop tops. You got a tattoo. I'm not buying this. That you don't have a boyfriend. Like, who's your boyfriend?
Right.
And she did not want to give this out because she was dating the guy that did her tattoo.
Who was about 12 or 13 years older than her, too.
Right. Who you know.
Who Cam.
We'll save that for news and gossip. You guys have to stay tuned because we're going to save that one. We've got something for you guys. But not yet. Don't cue that music just yet.
Before I forget
So
that.
he was 28 years old and she's 16.
He was 28?
Yeah, 28 and she's 16.
Oh, come.
It's a pretty big gap, I'm just saying.
Why isn't he his character in jail? Okay, I get it.
I know, but you know, he seemed like a pretty nice guy.
He does. He just like 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
He couldn't wait 2 years.
Yeah.
Because it was funny because Beth is like, okay, so she starts scooping around in her bed, like looking for something. And you're like, what's Beth looking for?
Yeah.
Beth keeping it real. And she finds this like little pouchette.
With condoms.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they're practicing safe sex.
That's true.
Yeah, that's positive. I wouldn't even think about that, but
I just want to see the silver lining in the 16-year-old's bedroom having condoms underneath her bed.
I like how that's what we pulled away from that scene.
Well, and
that's great.
So it was. I had to bring that up.
I know,
people who were watching the show thought the same thing.
It's true. No, yeah.
But she kept it in like a fancy pouch, and she only had 2 left. Okay. It's all in the details, Cam. It's all in the details.
Beth gets real.
Beth gets real.
Hashtag Beth gets real.
And so they bring him into the station and they interrogate him.
Yeah.
And they're like threatening to send him to jail for sleeping with a 16-year-old, which he still should have gone to jail for, but I get we only have so much time in the show. Anyways, so he ends up revealing that like who he saw at the house or like seeing somebody creeping
when
and
he
watching
left
and
at
spying.
night, he saw a man in a car in the driver's seat in a hoodie, and he saw this guy on 2 different occasions. So that led the detectives to investigate some of the pictures that the predator had, and they discovered a sedan that matched the same description as the one tattoo guy provided.
How weird is that? That they got a lead from a guy who was creeping on the possible victim.
Yeah.
Like, that's the craziest
That's
part.
like
You know what I
Inception.
mean?
Yeah.
It is.
But that's
it's
what makes
like,
the show so good.
we should check the pictures that this guy took of Hannah, even though Thomas is missing now.
Right.
And thank you kind of for taking the pictures, but you shouldn't do that. You know, it's weird.
It was like a slap
It's
on the
weird.
wrist. And he was like, they're like, if you don't come up with some information that's going to lead us to find this little boy Thomas, look,
Yeah.
you're going to jail.
Then Beth is going to get real.
Beth is going to get
Beth's
realer.
going to get real. That happens, yeah.
And Beth only can get real so much in one episode, you know, because when she gets real,
She's tough.
she gets real. And so they realized that it was a neighbor, Kooky Lady. Her name was
Kooky Lady, actually.
Judith,
Yeah.
but went by Rosemary
Rosemary.
Wilson, who is actually her sister's name.
Can we talk about these names? They have the best names for these characters.
So far, Rosemary
Barnes.
Buford last week.
Buford Posey. That really stuck in my mind.
The Whitley family.
Yes.
In case you missed episode 1, we're talking the Whitley family. Big part of episode 1.
Yes.
So if you missed episode 1, it's okay, guys, because guess what you can do? You can go to our recap of the show, and you'll know all about why we think the Whitley family is so hilarious.
And where can I find that?
You can find that on YouTube
In iTunes?
and iTunes. And if you go to iTunes, you can give us 5 stars. We love 5 stars. You can search for Stalker, itunes.com/AfterBuzz TV. Look up Stalker, give us 5 stars. Then you can also go to YouTube and make sure that you like, comment, and just so you know, we do like to respond to your comments, as proof from Teresa and Cam did this past week.
Yes.
So we love your comments. Let us know what you think of the show. Any questions or anything you want us to talk about in the next episode, we'll do that.
So we see Rosemary.
And
we see her go to the back of the car that we saw in the pictures that Mr. Barnes took of Hannah, who did not get kidnapped. We see her walk up to the trunk. We see her open it up, and guess who's in the back?
Thomas.
Now,
Poor little Thomas.
to me, I felt like this was pretty early in the episode that we saw who kidnapped him.
We did, because when the cops were there, she came up, she made an effort. Rosemary was like off and on. Like sometimes she was she was like, oh, I don't want to get caught. So hey guys, no, I didn't say anything. And the way she said it though, she was like way too excited. Like, hey guys.
Yeah.
Was like,
And I think the reason why they showed that so early is for us to really get into the anatomy of a stalker and like her backstory and kind of seeing what led her to where she is now.
Yeah, and I think that's completely true, and that's a good point. And I liked that. Instead of it just being a crime solved episode, it was crime, why the crime.
Right.
What's her motivation
we'll figure it
behind
out.
Well, it's funny because you think that you know what's going on in the show. And you want to know what's going on in the show, but the show is so good that if something seems too obvious, you're gonna like completely pan it out. So that I feel like I did that. I thought, no way, she's nothing to do with this, but she's weird.
Yeah.
And when you see her again, you're like, I knew it. But they made me second guess myself this time.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
So she walks in the back of the car. She opens it up. She says, "We're here, James."
And you're like, that's
who's
Thomas.
James?
She says, "We're here, James," and then closes it back up. And then she walks into a stranger's home.
Well, she didn't just walk into the home.
Broken.
Yeah, there you go.
And then she hit this lady over her head.
Well, can we just talk about
with
how
what looked like a
candlestick.
pepper grinder?
I thought it was a candlestick.
Okay, it's probably a candlestick. Yeah. Why would
keeps
pepper
a pepper grinder in their living room?
I don't know.
Right. So, but it was cracking me. It cracked me up. Was that long dialogue that they had? What are you doing in my house?
Yeah.
Who are you? Why are you here? Get out. I was like, what?
Yeah.
No, you need to be calling 911 and you need to get this woman out. And I would be running to the back of the house, out
Do we
the
ever
back
find
door.
out who that was?
No.
That's the weirdest thing to me. Like, I don't know. Because initially I was like, oh, that's the house she's going to, like, stake up in, right?
Well, I'm thinking that's her house.
Like, current house? Yeah. So, but then later on we find out it's not.
No, because
Is that just a random neighborhood?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or is it close to where she used to live?
I think it was
we ever
close to where
saw.
they used to live, or it was like a property that was in the family or something. It was very textbook for them to find, because which leads us to talk about when they go meet with her ex-husband.
Right.
Which is what happens next, right?
Because they wanted to get backstory on why would she kidnap this kid?
Right.
You know, why? Because she lied about her name. She said her name is Rosemary, and it turns out her name is Judith. But we can call her Judy. We can call her Judy for short.
You better not call her Judith. She'll hit you over the head with a pepper grinder.
She responds best to Judy.
Judy. At least there's a normal name there.
I know.
Finally.
So Judy is like, hey, excuse me, no, Judy didn't say anything yet. I'm losing my train of thought. So
ex-husband,
yes.
Yeah.
So they meet with the ex-husband, and he's just like, hey, you know, it's my past. I want to talk about this crazy woman. And he ends up talking about her and reveals that she had a split personality disorder.
Yes, I think that's what it was, or it was she was emotionally unstable and had an antisocial disorder.
Antisocial, yeah, it was antisocial. And they ask him, hey, what happened to your son? And he said, oh, he fell out of a boat at Echo Lake and he drowned.
And they look at him like,
and I'm like, seriously?
Really, that's what you think happened? Your wife?
You think the lady with the pepper grinder?
Right, that's think harder. And so then he confesses that he had his suspicions, but he didn't have proof, and that he had served her with divorce papers, and that's probably what drove her to the edge.
Right. Yeah. That was the catalyst.
And she drowned, and that they're exposing, it's not proven, but we can all assume, rightfully assume, that she had drowned him, her son. So,
and he was in denial this whole time.
I don't understand, really.
I don't either.
Because it's like, what do you have to lose at this point? You're already divorced,
right?
It's not like you're gonna offend her.
No, I don't think it's. I don't think it had to do with her. I think it had more to do with his son, because, like they said, it's okay. Don't feel like you weren't there for him.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, so I think
admitting that would be admitting that he wasn't a great father,
right? And they're like, you're a good father. Your wife is just off. So leads into the scene in the house where they finally get to Thomas.
Right. Beth and Jack are at the scene, and I think Jack suggests, "Oh, why don't you take the back? I'll take the front." And she's like, "I have a different idea." And her grand idea.
Cam was not a fan of this idea at all.
Wait a second. So she hands Jack her gun. She's like, "Hey, I have an idea." Hands her the gun.
No,
she walks in.
I don't think it was her gun. It was her badge.
Was it her badge?
Because she had her gun, unless she carries
maybe
two.
it was a badge because she wanted to disguise herself as a neighbor.
Because I thought she
it was-
handed the gun and then she
too.
walks in like unarmed when she clearly sees Judy in the window with a knife the size of somebody's leg.
She's
Like,
just like,
and
about
she's like,
this-
no, it's gonna be okay. I'm just gonna walk in. Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna talk through it like best
I
friends.
wouldn't put that past her though to go in without a gun.
I know.
if needed.
I mean,
Judy keeping it real.
it's
Beth
Beth.
keeps it real.
Keeps it real.
Beth keeps it real, and Beth. I don't know. I'm just a fan of Beth today.
Yeah, you are.
I like her in this episode a lot.
Someone has emoji heart eyes for Beth.
Yeah, I do.
So she goes in and pretends that she's a neighbor. This is her tactic. And actually calls her by her real name, Judy, and then addresses Thomas by her Judy's son's name, James.
right.
And that clicks in her. And I think she kind of reverts back because it's the first time she's actually heard her, real name and heard James's name. So she reverts back and is actually kind of opening up to her and, kind of giving her leeway.
Right. And everything's going well. I think Beth's like, I got this. Best idea ever. And then Thomas just freaks out and runs. And then Judith goes back and she reverts back into
Into Rosemary, her alternate
Rosemary.
personality, whichever it is,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
and throws what seems to be like a wall
Yeah.
on top of
Yeah,
Beth.
that just fell out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Beth, okay.
What?
I know it's a TV show, but Beth
She's
is
tiny.
a tiny. Yes. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo,
Tiny.
in real life, Beth would not have come back from
No.
that.
Hey,
I was surprised she was even able to get out of that.
I know, but I mean, it's Beth.
Yeah, that's true.
It's Beth.
And that's what happens when Beth keeps it real. She does not
Ooh.
let any shelf keep her down.
Beth gets
No.
real.
Oh no.
Hashtag Beth gets real.
And I love that Thomas runs into the right room, closes the two doors, locks both of them.
Yeah, like he's been there before. But it's a
What a good
TV
boy.
show. They're like, we gotta keep this going. And
Yeah.
so what happens next? Oh, so they're trying to get Thomas to open the doors, and he's like, I don't know your voices.
I don't know you.
And that's so.
I know. That was
Literally when we saw
was so
that,
touching.
we were all like,
Yeah. What a he's great.
well-behaved child.
Whenever and we see you see him not opening the door and then out of the corner of the room.
And that's when we all start
You
taking
see,
our notepads and covering our
Judith.
faces. Ice cream.
Judith comes out of nowhere with the knife and she says, "You ruined my life, James."
Yes, and then she's got him on the bed with the knife. Poor little boy.
That was a terrifying
Traumatizing.
part.
You know how much therapy it's going to take for him to get past that?
I know. Not a good situation.
Not a
No.
good one. No. And they then Beth again talks to her again and gets
Yeah.
her to put the knife down and tells her, she just says it's not that's not your fault, but James is gone. You have to let it go. And she does. And you can tell she really does need help, and that if she was in her right state of mind, she wouldn't do it.
Right.
So you really felt compassion for her because you felt so sad for her. You're thinking, oh, she can't help this. Like she
Right.
doesn't want to be this horrible person.
And that's what I appreciate about this episode, being able to, recognize what she's
Yes.
been through and what got her there and why she is the way she is.
And it's not just about crazy people that are just obsessed with you because, like we said, just because we stopped dating and now all of a sudden, or I turned you down, which I feel was really the rejection was, I feel like the theme of the first episode.
Yes.
Where
And
this
that's what we
one-
typically think of when we think of stalker cases.
Exactly. And so that was a great storyline. I really liked it. Thomas has my heart. It was so when he got reunited with his mom.
That was the best.
So good.
So that brings me to plot number 2. Perry. Back
dun,
to
dun.
Perry.
Stalker. Perry.
Perry's back.
Perry's
with a
back.
vengeance.
He shows up to the police station.
Which, by the way, who last week predicted that we would see Perry again? Was that you, Teresa?
Hey. Well,
I don't
too?
know. I think I just want to take credit.
it was me.
I think I'm just
No
being
credit
a jerk.
Good job,
being a
Teresa.
jerk.
Good
The
prediction.
last scene was him looking into Beth's apartment through the windows. So
It flashed so
we knew it was
fast I
coming
couldn't
back.
tell.
Yeah.
So you get the
Wow.
mass points for that one. Good
Thank
job.
you.
Sorry, continue. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
wow. I'm getting a lot of love for that.
Let's not get out of hand.
I know. The next thing you know, she's gonna start coming with the a writer with requests of to become a diva.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna have to step up my prediction game now.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. No pressure now.
I know.
So we have Perry comes to the police station to talk to Beth, and he says, "I'm gonna leave Eric alone. I need help. Help me." She gives him a business card. Here, call this person if you're really serious. Like, she wasn't buying it.
Do we
know that?
I don't know.
That she was buying
because
it?
I think at first, I don't know. I see. I was struggling thinking about this because I wanted to believe that she was buying it because I thought that would be interesting. But I think when she gives him the information for the therapist, it's kind of like, if I don't give you information and you run out somewhere and go hurt somebody else, then I'm kind of liable. So I'm going to give you the information and I hope you take it, but I don't actually think you'll take it.
I don't think she thought he was, and I think it was more of those, I'm not going to take you seriously until you give me more reason than what you've come to me with to take you seriously.
And she's used to dealing with these type of personalities and these types of cases, so she's probably aware that this isn't the end of it.
I liked how she made him describe exactly what he was experiencing, though.
Right, the fixation,
Yeah,
obsession.
that was
fuels
interesting.
him.
She's good.
She's good. Oh,
She's really good.
Well, you're biased, but she's good.
Beth.
She's real good.
Anyway, so that's the first time we see Perry. And then when's the next time we see Perry?
We see Perry again at the end.
At the very end.
The very, very end, because in one of the the second scene after Hannah and her brother have like the intruder, it's Beth and her friend at a coffee shop / bar.
Yeah.
Because coffee shop by day, bar by night.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Because they're getting coffee or having breakfast and talking, and
then we see her bartending.
Yeah, but I liked what about that scene though is how she was encouraging her friend to go out, be wild, but Beth doesn't do any of the things.
Right.
She's not practicing what she preaches.
Right.
And so, moving on. So at the end, you see Perry at the bar chatting it up with Beth's friend.
Dun, dun,
Right.
dun.
And you're just like, they're really going to drag out this Perry thing because Perry's up to some stuff. So,
Perry
And
is
that
up
also
to some-
signified that Perry's like really in it to stalk Beth at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going in that direction.
yeah, he's like, I'm going to
He's
get
all
you.
in.
It's like almost like it's like a revenge.
Oh, it's definitely revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
He's getting her back
revenge.
for her stepping on his fingers.
Yeah, I mean,
You crushed my fingers.
Beth is gonna win now. Beth always wins.
Because it was even funny when he said, I forgive you, I'm not going to press charges. And she was like,
Yeah.
oh, you thought you were going to actually get to press
Yeah.
charges on me? Do you
Please.
know who I am? I am Beth with a capital B.
And you were right about Eric. You said that he got a SAG card and we wouldn't see him anymore.
Yeah.
Eric, you guys, is the roommate, Perry's roommate.
Oh, yeah, it's my
So
prediction.
points for that.
That's right. That's right. I'd be surprised if we ever see him again.
And so that's interesting. So Perry's back.
Perry's back with a vengeance.
And I think he's here to stay for a while, you guys. Wait, who else did we see pop back up in this one?
Amanda.
They're behind you. Oh, is that you? Oh my god! Whoa, that just got way too real.
That just got way too real.
Yeah, Amanda pops up back in this
She
one.
does, and that's Jack's ex-wife.
Jack's ex,
Right.
And she turns out to be the DA. Deputy DA? So none
Deputy
of us
District
went to
Attorney.
law school.
No, Deputy.
Apparently.
Like, what is this?
Deputy DA. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Can we all wait? So we're on the same page now. She was a deputy DA.
Deputy
Yes.
DA.
Cool.
Agreed.
So she shows up at the office in the beginning when she's getting paperwork for Beth to further whatever paperwork she needs to like keep investigating and all that stuff. And she runs into Jack in the hallway and he's like, hey, fancy seeing you here.
And she is none too happy about it.
Not at all.
Not happy about it.
And he was like, well, I thought you were in a different division. And I guess apparently she is, but she's covering for the person that's
Who's on maternity leave.
on maternity
Do we
leave.
How
believe
is
Jack
he
there?
supposed to know that?
But do we believe him?
I do.
Yeah.
Because I really think he wants to see his son, but I don't think that he would be so bold as to be in her department.
Yeah.
Teresa?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I'm with Jade on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
I think I was on the fence. I think I'm leaning towards what you guys are saying.
come on over.
Yeah, come on over. I'll bite.
Okay.
That's just too obvious, if he did know that she was in the division.
Right.
And he
I
was,
would
like,
think, yeah.
And the
planning
show
himself
doesn't
right in there.
And the show doesn't do the obvious too much.
Yeah.
Not too much. A little
No.
bit. A little bit.
A little bit, but not
A
in
healthy
story.
amount.
Yeah, exactly. But not in
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this type of storyline. And so we go to the end of the show, and they meet up in a parking lot.
Right.
And he's just like, hey, please let me see my son. The same thing he said in episode 1, stop keeping me from my child. And
Well, ultimately, he can go to court and try to.
But it gets that's what I was thinking too. But then she's like, okay, I'm glad I've heard you out. He apologized and everything. And she says, hey, look, you have 2 weeks. Get out of here, or else I'm going to reveal about your dark past in New York. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And she said the one little thing that nobody knows. One little thing.
And so we're like, okay, cool. So you going to tell us? No.
Do you think? Well, I guess
gotta wait.
We'll have to talk about this in predictions when we get to that.
Write it down.
Predictions. Where's that at? Here we go. Okay, predictions.
He didn't even write anything down. I just want everyone to know that he wrote nothing just now.
Yeah, I'm writing it down. Predictions, Amanda. It didn't.
His
there we
pen
go. There
has
we go.
no ink.
Anyway, so yeah, Amanda is back. 2 weeks to get out of LA, Jack.
But I think that's a little unfair because
That's
she's
quite the
covering for
ultimatum.
because she's covering for somebody that is on maternity leave. She's not even gonna be in the department, so she's not even gonna have to really see him after homegirl
Well, we
comes
don't
back.
know what that dark secret is, so I can't say that she's not coming from that
I hope
place.
they tell us. Okay, that's predictions. It's predictions. It's predictions. It's predictions. I have to keep telling myself that. Okay. So I really want to talk about it, guys, but I'm gonna save it. So yeah, that was a cool little.
Yeah.
She's fierce. Amanda doesn't play.
She doesn't know.
He must. What did he do?
It seems to be like for a good reason. We don't know yet.
Right.
But,
And when we find out, I wonder if it. Okay, it's predictions.
predictions.
Okay.
But I like that Jack is into these fierce women. I mean, he clearly has something with Beth.
Because he has to be kept in check.
Yep.
Yeah. So which leads us to Jack and Beth.
Jack and Beth.
Yeah. So I love in the one of the parts of in the scene in the beginning where he brings coffee for everybody.
Oh, I love that scene.
And he's like, I was trying to be LA about it, so I got no cream or whatever.
I thought he was so charming.
I did too.
I would have had
totally
some coffee, and I don't even drink coffee. But it was so
who
nice.
doesn't accept coffee from him? Like, how do you not do that? There was a couple
She
people who
says,
are like,
please don't get me coffee.
If Dylan
Yeah.
offered me coffee, okay, guys, when we get Dylan here,
yeah.
hint.
When we get Dylan, yes.
Gotta speak this into existence. We should bring him coffee.
That's a good idea. I like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Adorable.
Okay.
And we should get the LA type of coffee.
Yeah, and then a chai tea,
Yes.
just in case.
Should we call him and take his order right now? Is that what we're doing?
Can you tweet him?
We're going.
Tweet Dylan. Tweet him. Cam.
So
now.
But we see him start a new relationship, not a relationship, but a work relationship with Janice.
Right.
Janice, yes.
And what do we think about that? She asked him to go out for drinks at the end of the episode, and a great line from him where he says, "It's never
that.
just drinks."
What do you guys think? Is it never just drinks?
Yeah, tweet us.
Tweet us.
Is it never just drinks?
I don't really think so because I mean, yes, it can just be drinks.
Yeah, if it's a networking thing. It could be just
Kim's
drinks.
not buying it. Kim's
I don't
like,
know.
"Man, I don't
I'm just
know."
saying if I went up to Beth and was like, Beth, let's get a drink, it wouldn't just be drinks. It would be,
Well,
hey Beth, how's it
it
going?
would have to
But
be
is that a
consensual.
blanket statement?
Well,
for-
yeah.
Is that a blanket statement we can say that anytime we're having drinks with a guy or a girl, that it's completely platonic?
Thank you.
You're
But like,
welcome.
it's not about. I don't think it's about necessarily only platonic or not. I think he might be saying that obviously, but it's never strictly just personal. It could be business related.
Well,
it could
I
be
think he was also
romantic.
referring to him in particular.
Yeah,
when
that's
you
true.
go get
That's
drinks
true.
with him,
Okay.
you're not just getting drinks.
Great line though.
You're
And
waking
then-
up next to
and
him
then
in the
he
morning.
walks away, and she's like, "Oh, it just made him more interesting."
Yeah,
Well,
she
I
wanted
think
him more.
Clearly, with Janice, it's not going to just be about drinks because throughout the whole episode, she's just hitting on him constantly.
Yeah,
She
and
really
he even
like-
said that she's a gorgeous woman, and that would not.
And he was like, but he's like, I'm a changed man, and that's why I liked when it led into the parking lot scene with him and Amanda talking. Like, I really believe that he's a changed person. But what did he do?
I don't know. I don't know if I believe he's a changed person.
I think he's trying very hard to redeem himself.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's quite there yet.
Cam, you
I
are
don't
just being hard on him. Is it because you guys have the same hair?
Yeah, because he's not here today and didn't answer my tweet.
I
No.
know.
Didn't. Bad, Dylan. Bad. Now Cam is sad.
Oh, man. Anyways, so is it time for
News and
gossip?
AfterBuzz TV News.
Oh my gosh, I have a couple bits of news here.
Okay.
First of all, last week, Stalker was the largest, highest rated new network show.
Yes.
And it's the show that we're doing.
It's a show that we're doing, so
I love that.
I forgot we had the studio audience in here.
Yeah, I know.
So,
live studio audience.
So that's great.
Yes,
So
yes.
it looks like we'll be on for a while. In other news, Keanu Reeves this week took out a restraining order against somebody who's been stalking him.
Oh, wow.
Did he not have one before?
I think he's had one before, but this is a couple days ago. He said a 50-year-old woman has been trespassing on his house. So he took out a restraining order.
Funny.
It's not funny, but it's like a cougar.
He did the right thing, though. He did the right thing by taking out the restraining order. So that's good. That's good.
Good.
I feel for these celebrities when I know it's only 10% of stalking cases, but
Yeah.
still, I feel for them because it's bad enough that their life's already intruded with paparazzi and being talked about, and sometimes things aren't true or things you don't want people to know is being revealed. But to have somebody just follow, I mean, Halle Berry's had a stalker.
And I think it happens a lot, obviously.
It's crazy.
It happens with non-celebrities, too, like we found out last week.
Right.
But that's just
And that
not
movie, The Bling Ring, was all about these teenage kids that would break into the homes of Hollywood stars by finding out that they weren't at home for a particular time.
Yeah.
And that was through social media. So Paris Hilton would be like, oh, I'm in Vegas doing this party.
Right.
And then they would find a way to break into her house.
That's
that
why
day.
they always say when you're going out of town to not really boast it on,
Right.
because that's when a
Right.
lot of burglaries actually happen.
And people love to, check into places or tweet that, hey, I'm leaving to.
Right. I usually
Paris.
like to do my geotagging after
You leave that place.
Yeah,
I've left that
definitely.
place.
Definitely a good idea.
Yeah, because you don't want someone to
So stalkers, when you see
Yes.
Jade's tweet.
yeah, okay guys. My beloved stalkers. Just know that I'm not there.
We also got
Mama's left the building.
some YouTube comments this week on our first episode from last
Yes,
week.
so many comments.
Just a
Thank
couple
you
here.
so
I'll go
much,
over them.
guys.
The first one is from 10 Leg Dragon. Okay, 10 Leg
Coolest
Dragon.
name ever, 10 Leg
Thanks.
Dragon.
Thanks for watching. She said that the crawl space climb was weirdly hot in last week's episode.
That's what
which
I
is
called
what you were
it.
saying.
I called it.
I'm just she said I don't know if it was written into the script. He sexily climbs into this crawl space, or if Dylan was reading, he climbs into the crawl space. But she said it worked for her.
It worked for
It worked for her.
It worked
for
for a
me.
lot of women. It worked for Teresa too. Cam, no,
It worked for
the
me.
hair.
It worked.
The hair worked.
We also had a comment from Joseph Boza, who said, "Good job on the first recap. The first 3 minutes scared the crap out of him."
So we're not alone on that.
It was a good one.
Thank you for
We
making
love
sure
your comments.
we do. Please give us more comments, and if there's stuff you guys want us to talk about, I know I said that earlier. Definitely let us know.
I have a tweet from today.
Oh,
Sherry Bing, Stalker CBS. I don't do network scripted much, but huge fan of Kevin Williamson. Stuff creeped out, but worth sleeping with a nightlight.
it is
So are we,
with the
Sharon.
lights on and then the door on, so that way you can see the shadow.
Yeah.
Can I bring up something for news and gossip?
Do it.
So I know earlier in the show, our last week's show, I was talking about the sheer curtains.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
She doesn't have sheer curtains this time. So it's great that they were able to implement a second layer of curtains. So now she's got privacy. So that was my gossip. I just did anybody
Yeah, no,
else
it's
notice
exciting.
that
It was
in the
great.
show?
Well, it's the best.
great.
You're like, oh, there's sheer curtains and then there's thicker curtains.
I felt
behind it.
safer for her. I was worried about her.
Right. Yeah,
So I
know.
feel better now.
I
It's
wonder
really-
if they actually got that note after somebody watched the first episode and they made that change.
Wait, exactly. But can I also tell you that I realized that I also have sheer curtains?
You need to go home now.
I need to go
Yeah.
stat.
Change
That's so funny
it.
because that's like the one thing that you really called out in the first episode.
Yeah.
Hypocritical.
Jade.
I know. I went home and I said,
We're disappointed.
I have two big panel curtains and then two shears in the center to let daylight in, because you guys want to know. And so I Cam, I know you. Obviously, you really want to know. You wanted to know, and so I realized, the other night, I said, "Wow, how hypocritical of me!" Because I had sheer curtains, and I was like closing up at night.
What the heck?
I'm a joke. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That's it.
Shall we move on to?
Yes, we can move on. Wait, Teresa, do you have any news and gossip?
No, I think you guys covered it. I was going to talk a little bit about the ratings. They did a 2.0, 9 million viewers. So
9
that's
million.
Wow.
amazing.
Yes.
Strong lead-in from Criminal Minds, which is at the 9 o'clock time slot.
Oh, perfect.
It's pretty hard to pull in 9
let's
million
keep it
these
up.
days.
Yeah.
So many shows on TV.
So many. There's so much to choose from, especially with cable and network TV and DVR. Everything's just competing with each other.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
let's see what else we got.
Prediction.
I didn't even have to say it because.
AfterBuzz TV.
Do your predictions dance.
I'm sorry.
Waiting for that.
Teresa's like,
God.
dance. I'm like, no.
All right. Predictions.
Ooh.
What do you guys got?
Cam,
I
you got?
predict that next week's episode
Okay.
we'll see a few people take some coffee.
Yes.
Take some coffee from Jack. And I predict that the thing that Amanda is talking about is not actually directly related to her or Jack's son.
Like what?
I think it's something else. I don't know, but I don't think it's about them. I think it's something else he did, and because he did that thing, she doesn't want him near them. That's just my prediction.
Interesting.
That's it. That's all I'm saying.
So it's not him cheating.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, I don't think
it's
so.
something else because we've.
Is that
it's
your
gotta
prediction?
Be a bigger reveal.
No, because yours sounds cooler now.
Oh.
I don't want that to be my prediction. I've got to think back to the drawing board.
Teresa.
I think he's not going to take that 2-week ultimatum. Clearly.
No way.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to find out more about Beth's backstory. I mean, we've been seeing her locking up so, diligently every night. I think we're going to need to find out a little bit because we weren't given any information this episode. So I think we're going to get more of that next week. And I think Perry's just going to be like full on stalking and making moves. And
Yeah, I
there's
don't
gonna be
think Perry's
something big.
going anywhere. I think Perry got more than just a sad card.
I think Perry's like
Perry's getting like.
Perry's going to the Emmys this year.
Yeah,
He's
Perry's
playing
going
on
to
the
be.
Emmy
She's
run.
walking that red
He's
carpet.
gonna be here.
Perry's going to be on that red carpet.
Can we get Perry on the show?
Yes,
That'd be-
Perry. Yeah, it's crazy because I really didn't think he was going to come back so soon.
Yeah.
I was hoping, like Law and Order SVU, like there was this one guy last season and he was like crazy demented guy and he came in and out and then like he was in for like 2 episodes and they faded him out for like 5 and then he came back in. So I thought it was going to be something like that.
No, but he was back
Perry's
again.
back.
He's back.
Perry's back at it.
So you think we're gonna?
Yeah, I think he's going to go get through Beth by dating her friend.
Yes.
So you think they're gonna date?
Yeah, I think so.
She was falling for it.
Yeah, she was
Damn.
like, they were too flirtatious. The way he ordered that Manhattan and she was checking his ID and
Yeah.
they like gave that stare off.
Said you got a problem with the young man.
And she was like, I mean, yes, but no.
No.
That's how it went down. Yeah, yeah, it went down that way.
Yeah, so I think something's going to go on between those two.
All right. I did.
Oh, yeah. Is that it for
I
our
did.
predictions?
I think that's it.
I think that's all we got.
I think that's it, everybody.
Oh, guys, guess what that means? It's time for us to end the show.
I thought you were gonna pull out some kind of surprise there. I was like, wait a second.
We
What's
will
going on?
one of these
One
episodes.
day, one of these episodes. You have to stay tuned to find out.
So follow me, Cameron Lewis, on Twitter and Instagram at The Only Camshaft. You can tweet me during the show, during Stalker. I do live tweets. And if you have any comments about this episode of the Stalker After Show on AfterBuzz TV, let me know, Teresa.
Stalk me on Twitter and Instagram at Teresa Law and keep leaving comments on YouTube.
Yeah.
We love them.
And
Thank
you can find me, my beloved stalkers, at Real Jade's World on Twitter and Real Jade's World on Instagram.
See you guys next
That's it.
time.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.